The puck drops on the NHL playoffs Saturday, and Don Buster's Sports Memo has a great deal for you. Don is coming off a great April of NHL with over 75% ROI, and you can get every playoff play for only $149. You'll also get a coupon for $100 off any 30-day or longer package he has. Get this deal now and enjoy the NHL playoffs with Don Buster Sports.
Welcome in, guys. Welcome back right here to WagerTalk TV. It's time for Puck Time. I'm Andrew McInnis, joined by Carmine Bianco, and Mr. Don Buster is our guest today in his usual Tuesday spot. Once again, Carm, some great games last night. How was your night?
Night was good. What a fun night of NHL. And it's not because I win 3-0, Andrew, but I did go 3-0. It's not because of that. Watching NHL playoff hockey with the intensity that those games have, but more importantly, because we saw it in the bubble last year, watching a game with fans in the stands is absolutely fantastic because it almost makes you feel like we're returning to a little bit of normalcy in this world. With fans allowed back in. Of course, Andrew, you know, here north of the border, that's not going to happen, but it is happening in the States. But it's a sign that things are starting to turn around. It's so much fun to watch. And my God, that Boston-Washington game, all three of the games, just such fantastic games. The chippiness there. I'm definitely looking forward to tonight's games and the rest of the NHL playoffs. And of course, I've got my eye drops here because we have Don Buster coming in with that back splash or screen of his or what have you. So I'm pretty sure that my rods and cones are going to be a little screwed up now. So let's bring him in. Don Buster, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, Carmine. And like I said, I have one of these for you. I'm looking forward to next year when you have this same backdrop for the Puck Time show. It'll be quite interesting. Maybe even send one out to Andrew as well. So it could be the three amigos.
Buster, you've been on an unbelievable run. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that run and tell us some of your streaks, man, because you've been crushing it over at Sports Memo.
Yeah.
You're good, Buster.
Okay, we're going to get Buster's just refreshing his stream. We're going to bring him right back in.
I'm back.
I would, and he's back. I would be remiss if I did not mention Andrew McInnis. We had yesterday the first player props with Andrew McInnis, and you absolutely smashed it last night with player props, my friend.
Thanks a lot, Carm. It was in exciting fashion, man. I had Brad Marchand to score a goal, plus 188 here on the show. Also, the clients had the Bruins to win, and he gets the game winner in overtime. So that's kind of what you like to see. We had McKinnon to score as well. We had Pasternak over on his shot. So you love to see that happen, and hopefully we can continue rolling here. Like I said, it's a long-term game. One winning night is great, some great plus money. So I'll happily take that. But Carm, before we get on the show, I think all of you guys have to know this. This has to be a huge message for everybody. Carm is the $2 Tuesday handicapper. I don't want him to pump himself, so I will pump it. He has been red hot in the NHL since the beginning of April, killing it with totals and side plays all year long. You guys don't hear Carm pumping himself up or patting himself on the back, but he's been crushing it over the last few months in the NHL. So grab that play over at wt.buzz/CB, and you can get Carmine's best bet. Buster, do we have you here? Are we live in action with you?
Yeah, I'm back. Not too sure. I actually went to El Chapo Cable. They finally, after years, got the speed up to 10. So last week, as everybody knows, I had no problem. So not too sure why that happened, but you know, I'm on a quick end to refresh. So as you were saying, Andrew, had a great month of April. I'm getting that bad overtime bug again. I don't know what's going on. I've already like 1 in 3 of these overtime games. So I did say I want to be 12-4 about a month from now when we're doing this show. So I just need to go 11-1 in the next 12 games in overtime, and we'll be all good. So great hockey, unbelievable hockey, what we've seen so far, and I'm looking forward to things like always.
Well, speaking of 11-1, how about 20-1, guys? Jimmy Adams over at sportsmemo.com. He is on a run that is unimaginable. I mean, I thought I was on a pretty good run a few weeks ago, guys. Jimmy Adams is crushing it. If you haven't heard of him or you haven't purchased from him yet, over at Sports Memo right now is the time to do it. Go grab his play for just $2. Carm, let's jump into things. Let's get right into these games. We're going to get into all three of the games today: the Islanders, Penguins, the Bulls and Panthers, and of course the Wild and the Golden Knights. But we're going to go ahead and start off with the Wild and the Golden Knights. And I think that game, Carm, really proved that you can have an unbelievable hockey game, an entertaining game, all of those exaggerating words I can use, and only see one goal in the game, and barely see any action, but still an unbelievable game. Great goaltending on both sides. I got to say, Carm, I was shocked with the effort of Cam Talbot, seeing what he did between the pipes. Contract year for him, I do believe. Marc-Andre Fleury stands on his head on some crazy saves, and yet his team still can't get him the win. I'll be on some props here in this game, expecting the result to be a little bit different as far as goals go. What are your thoughts here in this game?
Yeah, listen, the Wild are a thorn in the Vegas Golden Knights side. That game could have gone either way at the end, because when these games go to overtime, we tend to see some ugly goals. We saw a bunch of ugly goals. Not to go off course here, a bunch of ugly goals in that Boston game where Washington was just getting pucks to the net, deflecting them, just getting them in any way you want. And it's the same thing. Once these games go to overtime, a lot of them are ending quickly. Vegas did their normal thing. They had 42 shots on goal in that game, but Talbot played absolutely outstanding hockey there. And I think a lot of people expected goals in this series. We got none of that in game one, although a lot of opportunities. I'm hoping we don't see those Vegas ugly CP3O helmets tonight, those gold ones and stuff. I think it's probably a good spot for Vegas to bounce back. But with that said, they are going to have to, right from puck drop, be on their top game here. Because listen, Minnesota is going to bring it again. The Wild showed that they're not just an offensive team; they can play defense, Andrew. So I'm not entirely sure we're going to see goals in this game again. I think the sort of like I hate to use the word square, but sometimes the square way of looking at the game is, well, Vegas is going to win tonight, and in order for Vegas to win, they're going to score a lot of goals and they're going to blow up Minnesota. Right. Not necessarily true as far as the game goes. This could be one of those 3-1 Vegas wins, or it could be a 2-1 Minnesota if they can do it again. First round upsets have happened, and what we're seeing in the NHL and what we've seen in the past, if you bet this long enough, usually the dog wins that first game. It's their best opportunity to take a game in this series is in game one, and we've seen a lot of game ones with the away teams winning. Let's see if we see the bounce back as normally happens. So I'm going to lean with Vegas here, and I'll probably look at avoiding the overtime and avoiding the VIG on Vegas and taking the Golden Knights in regulation time.
All right, Carmine, looking at the Vegas Golden Knights in regulation time. I am more than likely going to be looking at the -1 or even just taking the price there with the Vegas Golden Knights. And to Carm's point, everyone's going to be on some of these bounce back spots, but in good reason. The longer the series goes, you'd think the better team kind of has the edge. To Carmine's point again, the underdog, I would say has the better chances in game number one. And we saw that not just in that series, but all kinds of series. Before I throw it to Buster, I want to say one point that I noticed that made the Boston Bruins successful yesterday. And we saw a few of those goals. The Vegas Golden Knights are very talented. They have lots of great players. We know what they're capable of doing. But a lot of their shots were from the outside. And I believe the message in that locker room and a few quotes that I saw from Pete DeBoer were very simple. Don't try and make that very nice highlight goal. Crash the net, get in their face and, cause hell pretty much in the crease of the Minnesota Wild. So I expect a lot more chippiness and a lot more of those greasy type goals tonight. And I think that with the amount of depth the Vegas Golden Knights have line 1 through 4, they can cause more havoc than the Wild can line 1 through 4. So if they contain, the Kevin Fialas and the Kaprizovs and those guys of the world, then I believe that's what will make them successful. So Buster, I want to get your take on that, because I think that depth is kind of the most important thing tonight here for the Vegas Golden Knights.
Well, for me, Andrew, I'll tell you one thing, what Vegas has to do. They got to get rid of that boogeyman, because that's what they are. It's unbelievable what Minnesota has on them. They're in their head. Every time Vegas is out of the bed, and there's Minnesota, the boogeyman. Vegas outplayed them the whole game, if you ask me. Again, shocked by Talbot. But as in life, as we get older, when you're afraid of the boogeyman early, Vegas has a chance. They're going to play 7 games probably. And I think in the long run, Vegas has a good chance of winning this series. So the way I went here, because as you guys were talking about, there's games where everybody's going to be on Pittsburgh tonight. Everybody's going to be on Vegas tonight because they're the home team that lost the first game, and they were fairly sized favorites. Vegas was 240, 220 for the series. Well, now they're only 115. So that's the way I went with this, because as you know, goaltending can be hot. So if Talbot could do the same thing again tonight, there's no doubt about that. Vegas should win. Do I want a chance? I'm not good. Well, I don't lay big numbers anyways, 160, 170. I'm not going to do that. But for me, I think the play here, because I'm going for the long run in these playoffs. Like we always talk, it's not a sprint; it's a long marathon. And for me, I'm going to have Vegas here for the series at -115. I made that bet. I'm going to just watch this game as far as this game goes. And if you're a Minnesota fan, you got to be loving it. You sit back, you've got game 1, you sit back, and if you're a Minnesota fan, you probably bet a big series number there, plus 190 or maybe 200. And you sit back and you watch this game and hope Talbot can do the same thing. I don't think he can, but I'm not going to lay 170 to find out. I think my better advantage here is going with the long haul. And if the boogeyman comes and gets Vegas tonight, I still got a chance to win my bet.
That's a great call, Buster. I love that. Same thing with yesterday. We discussed it on the show with the Boston Bruins, getting them at a +110 price to win the series. All of a sudden, things are tied 1-1. I second what Buster said there. I fully agree with that. It's a great opportunity. And to your point there, Buster, I mean, if you don't want to bet this game, but you want to take a look, especially at that full game series. I'm more of a series guy during the playoffs, Buster. A lot of people don't really like betting the series, but I like to pick my spots during the series, but also bet my prices before the series starts, or like yesterday with the Bruins +110. So I love that. It's a great idea. You're pretty much getting this Vegas team now to win the whole series at an unbelievable price. So definitely second that. Carm, any thoughts or agreements on that?
Yeah, listen, Andrew, we've talked about these series prices, and you can look after game 1 if you have not taken a series, and you can find value in the number. The Boston one obviously is one of them. If you believe Vegas is going to win tonight, then you can take this series price at Vegas -115, because I'll tell you what, if Vegas does win tonight, Vegas will go to about a 160 favorite to win the series again. And you're going to get Minnesota at about a +140. So at that point, you can decide whether you want to get out and lock in a very small profit. It all depends on your dollar value and what you're actually betting on the series. It's similar to the Pittsburgh Islander one. I had the Islander series to start with the Islanders. They're now -155 to win that series, and Pittsburgh is +135. So I could literally lock in Pittsburgh and lock in a profit on both sides. So that's the plus money one. And the Bruins are now -200 to win that series. So there are a few where you can take a stand if you have an opinion on what is going to happen in game 2.
Let's jump into our next series. Game 2, Sunshine State battle here, Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. This was an exciting one. Total sits at 6, our barn burner here, and it's hard to really look any way but the over, boys, but who knows? Maybe things will settle down. We do have 2 great goaltenders, but with the talent we have offensively on both sides, it's really hard to imagine this game being low scoring and a slow-paced game, especially with the amount of power plays we've seen. A lot of animosity, a lot of physicality between these two teams. If you're a prop bettor, you're going to love this game. If you're a fantasy guy, you love this game. I know I have Barkov in my playoff pool. You got a feel for the Florida Panthers, though, Buster. I thought they played a great game. I mean, their star players were their star players. They got some great production from their depth. They killed some penalties. But having said that, they didn't kill all their penalties, and they were very undisciplined. And now Sam Bennett is suspended for 1 game, and I do feel like that really does hurt this team. So, you hate to kind of use this expression, but I feel like Florida had a missed opportunity in game 1, and now Tampa Bay has Kucherov back, scoring 2 goals in his first game. So I liked Florida to win this series out the gate, Buster, but now they gave their best effort and still came up a little bit short.
Yeah, I agree with you, Andrew. Actually, I made a small play on Florida because of the price. I mean, you're getting plus 135 on a series, which Florida had the home and ice advantage. You're right; they did let one go the last game. Bobrovsky, I'm not too sure if Quenneville's known to make some rash moves. He might. I know they're not confirmed tonight. They'll probably give him the start, but I don't know if it was me after what I saw, I might want to go with Dreiger tonight, or I don't know if how the cap room and all that works, but they got that Spencer Knight kid back in the wings, and I just didn't like what I seen out of Bobrovsky the last night. And like you said about the power play, if they play like that against their penalty kill plays that way, they're done. They'll lose 4 straight because Tampa Bay, they scored 3 power play goals, and I know Quenneville will be on them to be way more disciplined. And talking about that, that's going to be a huge bad break for them. But maybe I'm a little biased because I had Florida that first game. But tell me what's the difference between what McDonough did against Duclair and what Bennett did? Is there, please, if somebody can explain that to me. I get Bennett deserves a game. How about McDonough? And some of those penalties, too, they just, I know, it seemed like, I'm not going to say this, but I might just kind of put it out there. It looked like Tampa Bay was getting a few of those calls. That first goal that Florida scored, I mean, they call that back. There's no way that should be called back. I mean, I know the rules with goaltendings and that, but they're going to have to revisit that goaltending rule because there's been a lot of really ridiculous goals that have been taken away from teams that, when you're playing hockey, it's hockey. I understand you're running the goal over. Guess what? That's it. So, but anyways, for me, what I'm going to do, because Bennett's out, I'm going to take Florida for the first period. I think they get together, and Florida's been strong first period. So Florida first period even, and we'll see how the game goes from there.
Florida in the first period for Don Buster. Carmine, where are you going in this game?
Yeah, we talked, Andrew, all year about teams like Florida, Tampa Bay, the Prez. When he was on last week, we talked about this series and having that winning culture, having that that mentality, and you're seeing it in the playoffs. Some of these teams who might be at home or might be underdogs in the series have just not played the full 60 minutes. Teams with experience are coming through. We saw it in the Boston game yesterday, a ton of experience in that game. And I understand Washington has it as well too, but there was no give up to the Bruins yesterday. And you look at it, the Carolina game yesterday, they did not, Carolina in that third period, it's their experience of a full season playing at a top level came through in that third period where the Preds sort of just gave it up. The Blues as well. They were in it until that third period, but the talent on that Colorado team got it there. You look at and then there's teams that actually did play well, the Minnesota Wild. With this, getting back to this game here, you look at it, Florida's going to have to stay out of the box. I get you want to be physical. I get you want to take a pound of flesh from this Tampa Bay team. You can't do it with that power play. They got burnt on the power play. You have Kucherov back, you have Stamkos back. We saw it, 3 power play goals and a shorthanded goal as well too in that game. Specialty teams decided that game, and especially obviously late. So I hate to say it, they're gripping the sticks a little tighter in Florida tonight with this game. If they lose this game and head back to Tampa down 2-0, they aren't recovering in this series. It's going to be tough to beat this Tampa team at home, especially with Kucherov, who I talked about on the last show, 18-2 at home as a goalie this season. It's going to be tough. I think the fact that Florida goes into this one probably a little tight plays into the hands of Tampa Bay. So give me the Lightning tonight.
Carm going with the Bolts here tonight in the Battle of Florida. Look, guys, I have to say, it's I don't want to get into it. We don't really have too much time, and this is a rant coming, but it's hard to handicap, and it's hard as a fan to watch a player like Kucherov be out all year and then just plop into the lineup and score 2 goals. Steven Stamkos injured for a large part of the year. This is almost like the second straight year we've seen some weird cap space stuff go on with this Tampa Bay team. If for those of you guys that don't know how really it all works right now, in the playoffs, you're a little more flexible as far as the cap space, and you'll have to pay extra tax and stuff like that at the end of the season. So this Tampa Bay Lightning team, they are way over. They are way over. They are, forming the Golden State Warriors of NHL right now. And, they're going to deal with it as far as money goes at the end of the season. But, watching a guy like Kucherov be out all year and to come in, it doesn't really seem like too right to me, but I guess it worked out pretty well for them that night. Let's get into the next game here with the Islanders and the Penguins. And Penguins minus 135, the Islanders plus 115. And I'm just hearing Carm in the back of my head. The Barry Trotz mentality. That's what he told me last game. That's what he told me a couple days ago. And Carm knows that I loved the Islanders last year, not as much this year. And I'm going to stick to my roots. I'm going to stay strong and say that, besides Tristan Jarry letting in a few weak ones, and I'm not really one to blame goaltenders. If you guys watch me every day here on Puck Time, I'm not really one to blame goaltenders too much. But that's pretty much the only soft spot for the Pittsburgh Penguins is their goaltending. And maybe one or two of those goals could have, been pretty good goals, pretty solid. I can live with, but some of those, one of those goals kind of tough. And Pittsburgh minus 135, and some might be asking right now, why is the price the way it is after we saw relatively an even game? Well, I think that what you saw was a nice tip in from Sidney Crosby, another nice play along the wing, but a lot of missed opportunities for this Pittsburgh Penguins team, and a lot of great saves and great defense on the part of the Islanders, which I just don't think will happen in back-to-back games. So some people are scared to lay these prices in the playoffs, even like minus 135. I'm not. I'm going to go right back with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Kyle Palmieri scores 2 goals. That's as many goals as he had in the entire season with the Islanders. I think that good for him, but I feel like Jake Gensel might get on the board tonight. We're going to see a little bit more from the second line as well. I like the Pittsburgh Penguins here to bounce back and get the job done. Carm?
Yeah, I want to say, because I'm kind of laughing about it right now, but I think when I talked about the Tampa one, and I was so excited about the fact that Nikita Kucherov is back, I think I said that when they go back to Tampa, it'll be tough. With I think I said Kucherov was the goalie instead of Vasilevsky. Obviously, Vasilevsky is 18-2.
He's doing it all, home. Man. He's doing it all.
On Thursday, if I start saying that Austin Matthews is the starting goalie for the Leafs, then we might need to get me some medication. But with that said, listen, as far as the series goes, those were some ugly goals by the Islanders. You need them to win games sometimes. They went to Tristan Jarry's glove side on, I think, all 4 shots, 3 of them over the first two over his glove side, and then one of them just under his glove over his pad. So they obviously had an idea on where to shoot on him. Let's see what the correction is. Jarry will be back in goal tonight. Listen, the guy was 18-3-2 since the start of March, when the Pittsburgh Penguins put together this fabulous run that took them the top spot in this division. Is there value on Pittsburgh? On the 135, yes. There's probably more value on Pittsburgh to win the series. If you think they're going to win tonight, then take them at plus 135 to win the series. They're the better team here. And not to bring back the old Buster boogeyman thing, but there is something hanging over this Pittsburgh team, and that's obviously their last two playoff failures, getting swept by these Islanders in 2019 and then losing to the Canadiens last year in the bubble. And when Andrew, when you talk about Barry Trotz, in 6 series, he's 4-0 when he wins game 1, 0-2 when he loses game 1. We know they won game 1. But the thing is, some of those series were those 5-game series. So you lose game 1, it's very tough to overturn a series when it's a best of 5 and you lose game 1. I think Pittsburgh's the play here. I think Jarry has to play better. I think Pittsburgh has to play better. It was those goals. At the end of the day, it's ugly goals. And the Bruins could have easily lost yesterday's game with a couple ugly goals. When I say ugly goals, I'm talking about deflections in the net, in front of the net. The goalies, it's very hard to stop those ones at the best of times. So give me Pittsburgh tonight in this game. No opinion on the total here. I just don't know where to go on that one.
There's a reason why I don't really get after goaltenders too often. I don't do it, Buster, but I think in this example, we aren't the only ones doing it. I think the Pittsburgh Penguins had a shot to win that game and take away 1 or 2 of those squeakers, and they come out victorious. What are your thoughts in game 2?
Yeah, it looks like for Jarry, it might become very problematic with that glove hand. I mean, he looked terrible. I'm not too sure what he can do to make that change. Obviously, he's going to know that they'll be going that way. But like I say, I'm not too sure what he does to change that. What has to happen is Pittsburgh just has to play how they played to the first start of the game. They played really well to start. They looked like the better team by far. But you know what? As long as you keep those Islanders, if they hang around, look what happened. 2-1 down in the third period. If they're close in that third period, it could be some trouble for Pittsburgh again here. Pittsburgh is just like Carmine touched on there. I don't know. The team is great in the regular season. Come playoff time, I'm not too sure. Montreal got them last year. The Islanders swept them. And this feels a lot the same, doesn't it? Like, I know it's only game 1, but it does feel a lot the same. I don't know. For us here, the total, not too sure I want to even have any part of that. But what I do want to have is that, and this is going to be a theme for me in these 3 games, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. They're laying 130 for the first period on the money line. I think they have to come out strong. They're the home team. They know they have to get the jump. They also know they let this Islander team hang around. That Islander team has a way of beating this club. So for me, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh for the first period on the money line, and let's see if they could jump out to a couple goal lead.
Mr. First Period, Mr. Buster, as your middle name is going to be First Period now. You've crushed those all year long for us, and I think it's true. First period will be huge for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Any closing thoughts here, Carm, before I get into the prop segment?
Yeah, no, I get it. What Buster was saying, and it's the headspace. It's the headspace with this Pittsburgh team as well too. I think a win tonight probably changes that before they head over to New York. With that said, listen, we've got to move this show along, and this is the second time we're doing this segment. I absolutely loved yesterday's segment, and we're going to continue to do this. It's player props, obviously, with Andrew McInnis, our fearless leader here, and let's get some winners from him. Andrew, we need some winners. Continue this role, my friend.
We got the job done yesterday with Marchand to score, Pasternak over on his shots, and we also hit a best bet on Nathan McKinnon to score a goal. Let's do it again, guys. We're going to do a little bit of hunting for some plus money, And, I'm going on the Vegas Golden Knights side. I actually have two guys from the Vegas Golden Knights, one guy on the second line, one guy on the third line. The first guy we're going to go to here, Riley Smith, scores a goal, plus 280. I mentioned I think depth will be important. We will see a little bit of depth scoring for the Vegas Golden Knights. That price at plus 280 is very juicy. I think it's very, promising for how many shots he takes, for how he's always by the net. And he might even get out there a little bit on the PP if they're starting, first string starts to struggle. Second pick is going to be Alex Tuck. Pure value. This guy is a playoff gamer. He's a big body. He's not scared to go to the dirty areas, and we've seen him have success for the Vegas Golden Knights in the playoffs, guys. That price is listed at plus 260. And third and final pick we're going to have for the show is involving the Tampa Bay Lightning. Steven Stamkos, over 2.5 shots, minus 120. We saw the Kucherov show. We saw the Braden Point show. It's now time for the Steven Stamkos show tonight in the prop market. Give me Stamkos over 2.5 shots. Give me Tuck to score a goal and Riley Smith to score a goal. If we hit one of those goal scorers, guys, we're in for a pretty great night.
Awesome. Love those picks, Andrew. They're up on the screen for you guys to see. 3 plays there: Tuck, Smith, and Stamkos. All right, let's get some money, Andrew.
All right, let's jump into our best bets. We'll start with you, Mr. Don Buster. You can give us your best bet for the show and what you have up for grabs for tonight.
Okay, for my best bet. Now, I know I've been doing all right the first period money lines and that, but on this show here, I always give away first period minus half puck lines, and I think I've lost about 5 in a row, so everybody just be cautious here, but I like this one again. I'm going to take Vegas for the first period minus a half plus 155 on the puck line. They dominated that first period 19-5 in shots on goal all over them. I'm going to bet that Cam Talbot can't do it again tonight. I think Vegas gets the jump on them, and we got a nice solid winner there for you. What I have over at Sports Memo, well, as Ruby was good enough to do my promo there, we have all of the NHL playoffs, only $149, and then you get a coupon code for $100 off any 30-month or 60-month all access. So that's a great deal. Go over and check that out. I also have tonight an NBA 5% release for the playoffs. We're 86%, 6-1 in our last 7 with the 5% NBA releases this year. And we have one up for the play-in game there. So going to really enjoy the games. Best of luck to everyone.
All right, best of luck, Buster. Plus 155 Vegas Golden Knights in the first period, minus a half. You've definitely, losing a few in a row doesn't matter. You've had a great season with those plus money best bets from you. Make sure you guys check out his 5% NBA play over at his capper page. Carm, what do you have for us, man, for your best bet on the show?
Yeah, my best bet on the show, I'm going to go to that Florida and Tampa Bay game. I'm hoping with this play, Andrew, that this is not that my thinking in this game is not a reactionary response to how that game one went, but sometimes you have to take a little of what happened and apply it to what is going to happen in game 2. I think the Florida Panthers need to come out in that first period and do something. They need to be ready because Tampa Bay is going to be ready. I'm going to look for some goals. I'm hoping it's not a reactionary bet to the 9 that we saw. The over in the first period is 1.5 minus 130, and that's where I'm going to go here. If at all, if these teams are undisciplined at all, and I don't think it'll be as bad as it was in game 1, but if we see any power plays, we're going to see goals. And again, Florida's going to need to push back here because they can't go down early to this Tampa Bay team, and especially they can't go down 2 games. So I'm going to look for some goals in the first period. Over 1.5 minus 130. 3 plays up today in afternoon. EPL soccer, 3 games I really like. One of them is actually up as a free play on the WagerTalk site, but you can get the other 2 plays along with that one for only $29. And of course, I have a 5% play up in NHL tonight as part of the Tuesday $2 Tuesday promo. So if you're following along, best of luck to us. And if you're not, I still wish you all the luck, guys.
Great stuff there from Carm. Don't forget to check out his 5% best bet there in the NHL. Goes for just $2 tonight. Carmine is also going to be on WagerTalk today with Teddy and Prez. Following this show, you can check that out at 12 o'clock Eastern time. My best bet, guys, I went with a goal scorer yesterday as my best bet. It was a lot lower of the odds with Nathan McKinnon. Ended up with 2 goals, still cashed it. But today, well, I thought we'd get a lot worse odds for this, guys, but we're not getting that. Mark Stone to score a goal at plus 215. Definitely, you know, the guy that I'm counting on the most to be successful for the Vegas Golden Knights, a top line player, a guy that's out there on the power play. I thought it was quite ridiculous. We're getting a plus 215 here, and I'll make that my best bet on the show. Mark Stone gets a goal here and finds the back of the net plus 215. As for my plays, I will once again have an NHL All Access pass up for today. I'll be doing that throughout the entire playoffs. Those packages include all of my props, totals, and side wagers for the night. Guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Happy to have Don Buster on as a guest today in his usual Tuesday spot. He has a 5% NBA play. Carm has a 5% NHL play, and I wish them both the best of luck. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.